SEC baseball is finally back, and everybody but Vandy looked pretty good.
You're talking ball with the SEC squad. From Alabama to Tennessee, from Georgia to Oklahoma, from Auburn to Texas, it's the local experts of the Locked On Podcast Network bringing you scoops, breakdowns, and the most comprehensive preview of the upcoming SEC weekend. It's the SEC squad, and we have a seat for you. Hurt feelings and thin skin are prohibited. Squad up, you're part of the SEC squad.
Yes, welcome on into another week, another SEC baseball squad. I'm Zac Blackerby. I host Locked On Auburn. Corey Burton, he hosts Locked On Vandy. Stephen Willis hosts Locked On Ole Miss. And Eric Cain, he hosts Locked On Vols. A lot of action from the first weekend of the college baseball season. And really, everybody looked good. In fact, the only team that doesn't have a winning record, Corey Burton, is the Vanderbilt Commodores, the Vandy Boys.
Yeah, it was.
Y'all actually played some actual teams, which props to y'all.
We don't have to tell everybody that. Come on.
What happened, Corey? Are you okay?
Yeah, hey, everything's good. It was the Vandy Boys roller coaster ride is what happened. You had a really nice game against two ranked teams against TCU, fought hard. Colin Barczi hit 3 home runs. Connor Fennell looked great in his starter debut, but a throwing error was the difference in that game. They scored 2 runs, went ahead, and Vanderbilt couldn't recover. Saturday, they ruled Texas Tech. They crushed the ball. Brody Johnston also hit 3 home runs this weekend. They were mashing the ball. It looked like they were on the up and up. And then, of course, it all fell apart on Sunday morning. Oklahoma State ruled Vanderbilt in 7 innings, and Vanderbilt couldn't do much of anything. And that was the weekend. And the what we learned from this weekend was absolutely nothing. We learned everything that we already knew happened. We knew our starting pitching was going to be good. It was. We knew there was like 2 or 3 guys in the lineup that could hit. They hit. And we knew that the bullpen was going to be shaky. It was shaky. And we knew that the bottom of the lineup was going to be kind of a mess as we tried to figure things out. It was kind of a mess the way we tried to figure things out. So everything just kind of happened. We didn't really learn much. So it'll be interesting moving forward.
Yep. All right. We welcome John Nabors, host of Locked On Razorbacks. He's here as well. We were picking on Vandy because they're the only team that does not have a winning record currently in the conference. Are you okay with this?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. In fact, it's the way it should be, honestly, for how many years they cheated and everything in baseball with this 11.7 scholarships didn't apply to them. Yeah, they deserve every bit of it. So
good. Yeah. That's the energy we want. Absolutely.
All righty then.
Absolutely. Eric Cain, your thoughts on the Vols in the opening weekend?
I mean, they played Nichols, did what it was supposed to. I mean, Nichols is not some of these other crappy teams. I mean, they've been to the tournament, a couple years ago, and they were bad last year, but they're not very good. Tennessee ruled them on Friday, and in Saturday's game 2 of the doubleheader, rain pushed the doubleheader to Saturday. So games 1 and 3 got ruled. Won game 2 by a score of 5-1. Starting pitching was phenomenal. I had them totaled up here a moment ago, but Tennessee outscored Nichols 27-3 on the weekend. The starting pitching, 8 strikeouts, 9 strikeouts, 9 strikeouts, and they gave up 1 combined run, just 4 walks amongst the 3 of them. So starting pitching is exactly what you wanted to see in a non-conference, game like a series like this. Blaine Brown, who we talked about last week, he was incredible. Homered twice in game 2, homered his first debut in game 3. He was retired only 5 times the entire weekend. He is starting on the mound in the midweek tonight. So, Blaine Brown's a real dude. He kind of stole the show in the lineup. But overall, Tennessee did exactly what it was supposed to. It was business as usual, and that's what you wanted to see, right? I mean, this is not an SEC series, but, Tony Vitello giving the baton to Josh Elander, and it looked about the same. So, mission accomplished for the Vols.
Everyone give a hand for Chris Marlar, host of Locked On Gamecocks, now hanging out with us. Stephen Willis, the Ole Miss Rebels starting 3-0. Give us a quick summary of what happened there.
Well, they played Nevada, so it wasn't exactly the Wheat Sisters of the Poor. They Mountain West champion as well, but Ole Miss took care of business. The game, they had to win 3 if they wanted to accomplish what they were going to accomplish. The highlight of this weekend was the starting pitching. The fielding was a little bit better, and there's an absolute dirtbag playing for Ole Miss. His uniform's going to get filthy. He's not going to hit home runs. He's going to do all the stuff that they used to do in the 80s in Major League Baseball. It is fantastic. But Ole Miss got 3 wins against Nevada, and now it just need to stack wins before the conference slate, which is going to be an absolute monster.
Yeah, it can be brutal for everybody, no question. Jimmy Stein, host of Locked on Bama, joining us as well. John Nabors, just quick summary of Arkansas's opening weekend.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they have some things that obviously they got to work on. The TCU game, it's their Hunter Dietz was their second-day starter. He's been a guy that has pretty much everything that you could possibly want in a pitcher. He's been talked about for a long time, but he just hasn't been able to get his mentality right where it needs to be. And he had a tough start against a really good TCU team. Arkansas climbed back, almost won. And then they just couldn't do enough there in the end. But then against Texas Tech, they were up 4-1 going into the top of the 9th inning, found a way to blow the lead, and then found a way to regain the lead and win an extra inning. So just like it was all according to plan. But either way, this Razorback baseball team, really good. Bullpen's really good. They got to figure out what the starting rotation is going to be. They have some really good guys. It's just a matter of figuring out who's going to play where. I like the hitting. I like the power. They have a leadoff guy that got on base 11 straight times in Damian Ruiz. Hard to do that, but either way, Razorback baseball is Razorback baseball, and they're going to be just fine. But a lot of season left, but it was a good showing for them down in Arlington.
Speaking of just fine, Chris Marlar, host of Locked on Gamecocks. The Gamecocks went 2-1 this week, and give us a summary of how they did.
First and foremost, John Nabors, you look phenomenal. The tan, you're wearing it well. Yeah. All of you look great. Happy to be back.
Little toasty, yeah.
Let's see how the weekend go. Not great, Zach. Glad you asked. They lost a game to Northern Kentucky, and
Doors.
Yeah. Not a bad team necessarily.
Regional team in 24.
Yeah, played Tennessee last year. Played I think Kentucky last year. They beat Indiana, which was a Power 4 opponent a year ago, but lost to them 3-2. 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Afterwards, Paul Maneri said, "Guys, not a big deal. Players are really tired after day one, and we're too tired to take batting practice on the field." So I let them hit in the indoor cages to help them heal a little bit. Because if there's one thing we know about baseball, guys, it is very physically demanding and exhausting. And after one day of it, you're going to need to take a little bit of a break. So hopefully those 18 to 24-year-olds have healed up from playing one day of baseball. Looking forward to not yelling about this for the rest of the season.
Yeah, good thing they don't play too many more games.
Yeah,
this year.
Right.
Jimmy Stein, host of Locked on Bama. How did the Crimson Tide do on opening weekend?
Took 2 of 3 from Washington State. Lost the opener, which sort of cast a pall over the weekend. I think when you lose the opener, you're sort of expecting to have a big weekend. Yeah. It's going to get everybody down a little bit. The Friday night starter got roughed up a little bit, so that certainly caused some anxiety, but Alabama looked really good Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, a true freshman pitcher getting the start on Sunday. They hope this is going to be a dude, and he looked like it, throwing 4 scoreless innings Sunday against Washington State. So Alabama wins 2 of 3, wins Saturday and Sunday 14-2 after losing that Friday night opener. This will be a good Alabama team. They'll be good. The league is just so brutal. Yeah. That you have to kind of be better than good just to survive. But overall, it was a good weekend for Alabama. But losing the opener with your Friday night starter, getting knocked around a little bit, you can say the anxiety level's up a bit. We'll see what happens this week against 5 opponents. They have a Tuesday, Wednesday, midweek, then a full weekend against Rhode Island. Let's see how they straighten things out this week.
Yeah, and we'll jump more into next weekend in just a moment. From the Auburn point of things, Auburn swept Youngstown State, which is not a state. 43 strikeouts for Auburn's pitching staff, which was historic stuff in Plainsman Park, which is super cool. And then I think the biggest question for Auburn moving forward is their leadoff guy, the guy that kind of generated the most excitement, Chris Rembert, sliding into second and suffered an ankle injury. Sounds like he's going to be out for a few weeks. You hope you get him back by conference play. Unfortunately, Auburn opens up conference play against Missouri, so maybe that gives them a little extra time to work its way back. So we'll see what happens there. As far as looking ahead, let's jump into that in just a moment. This is the SEC Baseball Squad. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Mazda. Mazda's moving the game forward. Who do I want to pick on this week? We'll go with Corey Burton of Locked On Vandy. Who's moving the game forward for the Vanderbilt Commodores, the 1-2 Vanderbilt Commodores?
Well, Colin Barczi in game 1 hit 3 home runs against TCU. Hit 3 absolute no doubters in a pitcher's friendly park in Arlington, and that was something that Vanderbilt can look forward to. That's one bright spot that they have in that lineup. So Colin Barczi is indeed moving the game forward.
Yeah, and Mazda puts that same passion into every model. Highlights make the real. What it took to get there, so what makes it count. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you. Today's show also brought to you by our friends at Indeed. Indeed is the best place to hire anyone. Can you imagine hiring anywhere other than with our friends at Indeed? No. Everybody's saying no. Absolutely not.
No.
Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all the boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed-sponsored jobs. And if you listen to any of our shows, you can get a $75 sponsored job credit to help you get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just support our show, please, by saying that you heard about it on a Locked On podcast. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed-sponsored jobs. Today's show also brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. Guys, raise your hand if you've ever wanted to experience the NBA Finals live and in person. Well, FanDuel is giving you the chance to turn that dream into a reality with their NBA sweepstakes. Here's how it works. Use your profit boost on any NBA futures, and you'll automatically be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for 2. That's right, flights, tickets, and the whole experience. Chris Marler, who would you take on this trip if you want it?
I thought you were going to ask about the Winter Olympics. I've been really invested into the Winter Olympics from a gambling standpoint. So FanDuel, been awesome for the men's hockey.
What's been your
team.
best event?
Not curling. That's for sure. I had a lot of money riding on Lindsey Vonn. That is all gone. But then also, no, men's hockey, just over 1.5 goals in the first period. It has been really, really good for most of the entire tournament. So there you go.
Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use your profit boost on an NBA future and get entered for your chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals.
Located in Oklahoma City.
There we go. Thank you so much for making all of our shows your first listen every single day. As far as looking ahead this week, who has the toughest road ahead this week if you had to vouch for your team and your schedule? Wow.
Not me.
Not Alabama.
Eastern
Not
Michigan,
Alabama.
2 games set midweek, and Marist on the weekend.
The folks here that it might be Auburn tonight, Tuesday night. We host Cincinnati. They've got an All-American catcher, one of the best catchers in the
Big
sport.
Red Machine. Big Red Machine.
There we go.
Johnny Bench, right? Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
That's a good matchup there.
And then we had a few SEC teams head out to Arlington last week. We head to Arlington this week. We play Kansas State, Florida State, and Louisville. So we'll learn a lot about Auburn this week.
I don't think it's gonna be super tough. You're gonna be pretty conflicted if you love America on who to pull for this weekend at Founders Park in South Carolina, because they're doing a salute the troops weekend for South Carolina. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you got Army, Navy, and Air Force. A really, really cool thing they're going to be doing this weekend there. So I'm going to try to head out there on Sunday against the Air Force, the group that I least respect from the military. Just kidding. In case we have any Air Force people, that's a joke. Respect all of them. Very excited for that, though. But I think that'll be a really, really fun weekend. Eric?
I kept expecting you to say Army,
that.
Navy, Air Force, and South Carolina for some reason. I don't know why I thought that, but I did think that that's where you were headed. But that's not where you landed at all.
I mean, I would say out of the 4 baseball teams I just mentioned, like South Carolina would be the one I respect the least if we're being serious. So there's that.
Yeah, and as a former sailor, there's not many baseball games played in the ocean.
True.
Some of those boats are probably big enough though to play baseball.
Yeah, but can you imagine how much money you would lose because somebody like foul tipped a ball? It's not going to be great.
Got it. All right, somebody else give me something they're looking forward to or looking at this weekend.
I'm not looking forward to this weekend. I'm looking forward to next weekend because that's when Tennessee is going to be in Arlington at Globe Life Field. So looking forward to that. This weekend, tonight, UNC Asheville, the Fighting Bulldogs. So it's a first midweek tradition for Tennessee to welcome UNC Asheville. And then Kent State. That's not a state.
Definitely not a state.
They're not bad,
Kent
dude. They're
State.
playing right now.
I'm
Couldn't
looking
tell you
forward
anything about Kent State.
to the Las Vegas College Classic to end the month of February, where you get UC Irvine, Arizona, and Oregon out in the desert there in Las
We
Vegas.
all go 1 and 2 that weekend as well.
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
We're all making jokes about how the
Listen,
schedule is so light
yeah.
right now, but this league, and you guys mentioned it earlier. I mean, this league is so freaking tough.
Yeah, just take it from me, Corey. If you
State's
lose a
not
couple
bad.
of games in Vegas, just find a state court and they'll take care of you.
There you go. That's the way to go. That's the way to go.
Well, Corey, wait. I'll let you know if that's true at the end of the week. All right.
Yeah, not a lot of pressure on Alabama this upcoming weekend against Rhode Island, but because the Friday night starter got knocked around a little bit by Washington State, I think there will be some level of drama as to whether he gets it done on Friday night or whether they're going to have to shake things up with the rotation early. But so that's the only drama for Alabama against an overmatched Rhode Island team. But they hit the ball well. I would imagine Alabama have a nice offensive weekend against Rhode Island. But they do have to figure out the rotation. Again, a freshman is pitching on Sunday. He earned that spot over a couple of upperclassmen. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets bumped up to Saturday after this weekend.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how different, teams handle that, because there's an argument of, okay, do you run them back out there again? But also, as we've all said at different points in this, the league is so brutal. By the time conference play starts in a few weeks, you need to have a pretty good idea of what your rotation looks like.
Yeah.
So do you try other guys, or do you say, no, you're our Friday guy going into the season for a reason? We got to ride with you a little bit more. It's tricky because there is a time limit to this.
I think speaking on that too, I don't ever want to speak for Moscona, so no one tell him that I did that. But LSU, the other team, I would say that's got a pretty interesting weekend. They're going down to Jacksonville to play in that Jack's Baseball Classic. I think Bama played in it last year, had that walk-off with LeBron against Ohio State. But LSU will play Indiana, Notre Dame, and UCF. So that'll be a pretty fun weekend. And they're kind of in the same boat with the Friday night starter. Casey Evans didn't take a loss or anything on opening day, but a guy that everyone was very, very high on how great he was a year ago as a stopper and coming out of the pen. Not the best opening day. So he'll get a chance at a little bit of redemption. That lineup LSU has is unreal. It's the two teams I think I was most impressed with the weekend was Tennessee and LSU, and it's because they were able to hit the ball. We knew Tennessee would always be able to do that, but also the pitching with paired with both of those is really good.
Hey, Marler, who's your favorite guy on the LSU's starting lineup?
Dude, it's not a starter. Omar Serna is
that the big boy?
monster.
Hold on, is that the big boy?
No, that's Zach York, and I do love that.
That's my
too.
guy.
That guy. He just hit a bomb. We're recording this, the Peel Behind the Onion Monday night. He hit another home run. But dude, their lineup is absolutely stacked. But they got a lot of freshmen that they can swing it really well. That kid, Omar Serna, he I think he went 0-for-3 in his first start. He's a kid that would have been a first or second round draft pick last year, but decided to come to LSU. He had the highest exit velo of anybody on the weekend at 118, and just a true freshman. He's a horseman.
Whew. John Nabors, you got anything to add before we wrap up, my guy?
Hot ass John Nabors.
Arkansas is playing Xavier in Fayetteville this weekend, so they have a baseball team apparently. But I mean, listen, it's one of those things to where it's as a Razorback fan and people who follow the Razorback baseball program. I mean, they've been one of the more consistent when it comes to the regular season. It sucks, but it's just simply like, great, get us find us some postseason play, and then let's see where it goes. I mean, that's just kind of how it is right now. But they're going to figure some things out. I mean, just like everybody, they got to figure out that starting rotation, because fans really don't understand just how difficult it for any team to have a Friday, Saturday, Sunday starter that are all good. Like, that just doesn't exist. And when it does, those are usually the teams that win it all. So they got to figure that out just like everybody else. But, again, this is going to be another really good team that can make a run at Omaha and, maybe not win it again. So it should be another banner season.
Tennessee and Arkansas faced off in supers last year, and I know Tennessee did not have a Sunday starter last year. If memory serves me right, Neighbors, Arkansas did not have a Sunday starter. There was a couple of different guys.
We had Landon Beidelshees who wasn't too bad, but still, I mean, listen, it's like Razorback fans are all in because they broke the record down there. They had 22,000 fans down there in Arlington for a baseball game because, again, we have no life and it's all we have is the Razorbacks. So that's what we do. But still, I think it's going to be a fun season just to see how all these SEC teams play out. But I'll go ahead and give a guarantee that LSU or Texas, neither of those teams are going to win the College World Series this year. So,
weren't they lining up at like 9:30 in the morning outside that stadium?
Yes, they were.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
And they're hammered too.
That's so great.
All right,
Zach, real quick
Yes.
before we go, Ole Miss
Please.
plays Arkansas State tonight. Tomorrow they play Jackson State, which is not a state, and then this weekend they play Missouri State, and that is the baseball
is
team
a
in the
state.
state of
Missouri
Missouri.
is a state.
That is the
a
baseball
state.
team in the state of Missouri that
Confirmed.
actually cares about college baseball.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true.
Missouri State is a state.
All right, another week of the SEC baseball squad in the books. Jimmy Stein locked on Bama, Chris Marler locked on Gamecocks, John Nabors locked on Razorbacks, Eric Cain locked on Vols, Stephen Willis locked on Ole Miss, Corey Burton locked on Vandy. I'm Zac Blackerby, our host, locked on Auburn. We'll see you next time. This has been Locked On SEC Baseball Squad.
Squad.
Trinidad Freed.